Let me know when you're ready. Whoa, what is that? A nice little tablet.
I've been using this
Really? I didn't know that. All right. Very high tech.
a year or two.
You and Mr. Miller. Well, let me know when you and your tablet are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Ms. Rivers, we're going to get on the record in State versus Joyner. It's 25 SC 005 515. Ms. Joyner is here with Ms. Rios, and we have Ms. Nix for the state. Ms. Joyner, Ms. Rios asked that we add your case to this morning's ad hoc calendar because you were prepared to enter a plea. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The way this will work is that in just a moment, Ms. Nix is going to put you under oath, and then she's going to ask you a bunch of questions. They're going to be very similar to the questions you heard Ms. Smith ask Mr. Mitchell, but they're your questions, and we need your answers truthfully and completely. I also need you to let me or Ms. Rios know if you have questions of your own. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Ms. Nix.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Joyner, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any statements or testimony that you shall give in the matter currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Please state your true, correct, and legal name.
Barbara Joyner?
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any medicine, drugs, or alcohol?
No.
Is there a medication that you normally take that you have not taken or been given today?
No.
How old are you?
36.
How far have you gone in school?
12th grade.
Did you graduate or you made it into 12th?
Made it into 12th.
Is English your native or dominant language?
Yes.
Do you understand that you've been charged with the following offenses?
Yes.
Count 1, aggravated battery. Count 2, aggravated stalking. Count 3, stalking. And count 4, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers.
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you plead not guilty or remain silent and refuse to enter any plea at all, then the state is required to prove the charges against you at a jury trial?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to review your rights with your attorney?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney about all of the charges in this indictment against you, including the facts and circumstances relating to each charge?
Yes.
Do you need more time to discuss the case with your lawyer, Ms. Rios?
No.
Are you satisfied with her services?
Yes.
Ms. Rios, do you waive a formal reading of the indictment for purposes of the plea?
Yes.
And do you waive any and all defects in the indictment for purposes of the plea?
Yes.
Ms. Joyner, do you remember having been arrested on these charges?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you remember having been arrested on these charges?
Yes.
Has your attorney advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge to which you're pleading guilty today?
Yes.
Do you understand that today you're entering a somewhat non-negotiated plea and the state may recommend a sentence to the court without your having agreed to it in advance?
Yes.
Are you aware that the state's offer is 10 years that you serve 30 days with the balance on probation? You have 24 days of credit, and the state will recommend that the remaining 6 days be served on the weekends.
Yes.
With the special condition of a permanent no contact with Heather Webb.
Yes.
Have you discussed this offer with your attorney?
Yes.
Judge, I believe that her final plea was when I was in trial, so I'm not sure if she still has her final plea rights.
What do you remember about that?
She does because you were in trial. I don't think we had an offer even at that time.
Okay.
Okay. So what that means, Ms. Joyner, we're not trying to use code. Ms. Rios is going to advocate for a slightly different sentence because I heard this was a somewhat non-negotiated plea. So Ms. Rios is going to argue for something different. If the sentence that I impose is more severe than what Ms. Rios says, so longer probation, if she says no jail time and I include jail time, she says no fine and I include a fine, anything that makes the sentence more severe would mean that you and Ms. Rios could talk about the sentence that I impose, and then you could let me know, sorry, Judge, I was willing to take what Ms. Rios said, but not what you did. And so I'd like to withdraw my plea, and you'll be absolutely free to do that today and today only. After today, if you want to enter a plea, you're stuck with whatever sentence you get. But today you'll have a chance to think about what I impose if it's different from what Ms. Rios said, if I agree with her and say the same thing, I'm not going to ask you, what do you think about that? Because I gave you what your lawyer asked for. And it sounds like there's a small difference between the two. I have a hunch what it is, but I'll hear from Ms. Rios about that. And if it's a different sentence that I impose, I'll give the two of you and Ms. Rios, a chance to talk about it.
Okay.
So what I just listed was the offer as to count 2. As to count 1, the state will reduce to battery and offer and recommend a sentence of 12 months probation, and state will now process counts 3 and 4. Do you understand that's the state's recommended sentence?
Yes.
So the one felony would be aggravated stalking, and that's the basically 10 years to serve 1 month. And then count 1 misdemeanor, now battery, and 3 and 4 dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Do you understand that since there are multiple charges to which you're pleading guilty today, the court has the right to run those sentences consecutively?
Yes.
Do you understand that if the court decides to order a sentence that differs from what your lawyer might ask for as a sentence, that you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty?
Yes.
Are you currently on probation or parole anywhere?
No.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are on probation, you must follow all the special conditions of your probation?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you fail to follow all the special conditions of your probation, then you'll be subject to revocation of that probation for the balance of your sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand that you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, you may not receive, possess, or transport a firearm?
Yes.
Do you understand that doing so could result in new criminal charges for which you face a sentence of up to 5 years?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, you also may not use a firearm in a crime in the future?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you were in the future to use a firearm during the commission of a crime, you would face a 15-year custodial sentence consecutive to the sentence for the underlying crime?
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering a plea of guilty today, you are waiving any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights: the right to a trial by jury, to remain silent, to confront witnesses against you, to the assistance of counsel, to the presumption of innocence, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges at trial?
Yes.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea today?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea today?
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to enter a guilty plea because you are in fact guilty?
Guilty under Alford.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty because you have decided that it is in your best interest to do so?
Yes.
Yes, speak up.
Yes.
Are you aware that even if you do not admit guilt, this is a plea of guilty and places you in the same position as if you were convicted by a jury at trial?
Yes.
How do you plead to the charges of battery and aggravated stalking in indictment number 25 SC 005515?
Guilty under Alford.
Is this Alford plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you believe there is some error in your guilty plea, you can apply to the appropriate appellate court to request a discretionary appeal as outlined in OCGA 5-6-35 within 30 days of today?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you wish to challenge the voluntariness of your guilty plea, you must do so by filing a habeas corpus petition?
Yes.
Do you understand that for the felony, you have only 4 years from today, and for the misdemeanor, you have only 12 months from today to do so?
Yes.
Judge, had this case gone to trial, the state would expect the evidence to show that on or about March 15th, 2024, the defendant came to Heather Webb's home located at 657 Boulevard in Atlanta, which is in Fulton County, in violation of a temporary protective order, which prevented her from having contact with Miss Webb and coming to her residence, and struck her several times, causing visible bodily injury, including bruising and a black eye. Miss Joyner was still on scene. She was in the parking lot of the apartment when officers arrived and did state to law enforcement that she knew she wasn't supposed to be there. And this occurred in Fulton County.
The battery that you're reducing aggravated battery to, is that just plain old battery, or because of the nature of the relationship between Ms. Joyner and Ms. Webb, would it be a family violence battery?
It would not be family violence battery.
Okay. I want to make sure that the final disposition reflects that.
Judge, Ms. Webb is on the Zoom and would like to make a statement.
Great. That was my next question, was whether Ms. Webb wanted to do that. Good morning, Ms. Webb.
Good morning.
So I'm going to add you to the screen here. I'm Judge McBurney. It's nice to meet you. I am here to listen to you about how this incident has impacted you, what you think ought to happen, anything you want to share about this situation.
I can't see you. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Well, I'm there. I don't usually have.
Okay, no problem.
I'm here. I can see you. That's the important part, and the court reporter can as well.
Okay, thank you. Well, I have wrote a victim statement, and first I want to say thank you for allowing me to stand before you today, not just as a victim of crime, but as a woman who has endured prolonged harassment, threats, and trauma. And yes, I am a little emotional because, yeah, this was a lot. At the hands of the defendant, for several years, I was subjected to stalking, harassment, and escalating acts of violence, which was began as unwanted contact that turned into a pattern of disturbing behavior that made me feel unsafe for my life. On the evening of March 15th, all of my fears came true. I was completely violated in my home. I lived in constant anxiety, never knowing where or when the next encounter would occur. My sense of peace, security, and normalcy was taken from me. The final assault was not just attack on me, but a threat for my life. I was physically beaten and kicked at my right eye, and kicked where I had just recently undergone a kidney transplant. I was completely afraid for my life. I could have lost my life, not only lost my life, but lost my eye to this this incident. My body was in a vulnerable state, but critically to my life and survival. This was deliberate, target, and dangerous. Your Honor, I can hear the defendant saying, while she kicked and beat me, excuse my French, die slow, ho, over and over again as I begged the defendant to get off of me and stop kicking me. Even with the TPO in place, the defendant on more than one case has still made it her business to violate the TPO and constantly harass and stalk me. On the evening of March 15th, I had just recently returned back home. So to find someone knocking at my door at that time of night, I was very unexpected. As a result of this attack, I was taken to Grady's Trauma Center, where I prayed everything was going to be okay, especially with my kidneys. Physical bruises, as far as my eye would be healed, but my kidney, once that was gone, that was it. Not only to mention that I have also had open heart surgery, where I sustained severe pain after the incident as well. Difficulty sleeping, mental burden of the whole situation has left me drained. No one deserves to live this way, stalked and harassed violently and tactfully, especially over a prolonged period of time. I'm asking the court to take into full consideration of the severity of the pattern that was intended by the defendant actions. This wasn't just a one-time incident, it was repeatedly escalating behavior that resulted in serious harm. I'm asking for accountability. I'm asking for a sentence that reflects the seriousness of what I have endured. This was excessive and uncalled for. Thank you, Your Honor, for hearing my voice.
Well, you're very welcome, Ms. Webb. And I know it was difficult to talk about this and have to relive it. It's been a couple years now, and here we are having to get back in the middle of it. I have a few questions for you. How did it work out with your kidney? Was your kidney okay?
Well, I've actually had, since this incident, the I had to have a kidney biopsy done since that, which caused me to have a stroke and also 2 more heart attacks. And I've had to have 2 more open heart surgeries since this incident.
And how about your eye? Did it heal?
My eye healed, but I still have plenty of vision problems with that eye.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Since this incident, since this bad night on March 15th of 2024, has Ms. Joyner stayed away from you? No visits, no phone calls, nothing?
No, she haven't directly, but she has been in spaces where she knew that I would be.
What's an example of something like that? Because I'm going to be giving Ms. Joyner some pretty clear instructions.
July 4th to be exact.
Like last year, July 4th?
Yes, last year, July 4th.
Okay, but what's are you guys relatives, or why are you thinking?
No, we're not relatives. I'm dating someone that she used to date. That's where all of this is extended from.
Okay, but why would you all be in the same place for July 4th?
From my understanding, she was invited, and no one in their family knew the extent of what was going on between me and her, but she knew.
Okay, but it wasn't. I understand, and so going forward, Ms. Joyner would need to leave if she got to a place and you were there. But it wasn't that she invited herself, someone who didn't appreciate the situation.
Well, they didn't know. Well, it wasn't that they didn't know of the situation.
Okay, to me, that's the same thing. They didn't know. And so they thought, hey, I know Ms. Joyner, she's great, want her to be at this event. I know Ms. Webb, she's great, want her to be at this event. And that was a bad coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but apart from that, which I'm not going to lay at Ms. Joyner's feet, this other person doing the invites, have you been able to not obviously forget about what happened, but move forward in your life with your significant other without Ms. Joyner getting in the way?
Well, that part doesn't even matter. It was all about her responsibility. The other person didn't have anything. That's accountability for the person that is doing the harm. That has nothing to do with the other person.
Okay, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way, and I guess I didn't ask the question well. Over the last 2 years, other than this 4th of July event, have you seen Ms. Joyner at all?
If I must say, yes.
Okay, and what was the situation?
She knows where I live at currently.
Okay, all right. Anything else, Ms. Webb, that you want to share with me?
Other than I feel like, the whole situation could have been very well avoided. I asked her on several occasions, even down to when she first, informed me of who she was, to leave me alone. That was like completely ignored. If you go back and take a look at the evidence that I presented, I have never, engaged her with conversation. It was always directly towards me. She found any kind of way to make sure that I knew that she was around, whatever it was, whatever she was trying to do, run me off. But also on the evening of March 15th, this young lady came all the way from Stonecrest Mall, all the way downtown Atlanta in an Uber or Lyft, or whichever one it was that she, found her way past Candler Road where she lives at to come to my home. And this wasn't just one occasion. On second occasion, she came to my home and threw clothes in front of my home. In the pouring down rain from the other person that is involved, that tied all of this situation together.
Got it.
At the end, this is not for me a slap on the wrist, because I could have very much been back on dialysis. I could have very much lost my life.
Okay. Well, I understand why you were afraid. You got a protective order, and Ms. Joyner didn't follow that. And if that doesn't protect you, then what is going to? So I can understand.
What was protecting me. And the thing was, right before this incident happened, I received a text from an anonymous number texting me saying, "This barber, I'm gonna beat your ass." That's what the message said. And then a day or two later, the incident happened.
Okay.
I went down to the police officer again, and I kept telling them, this is going to turn bad. And it did.
Right. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. And I appreciate you being here, because it adds a lot of depth to what Ms. Nix was sharing about what this case was about. So thank you for sharing your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You bet.
It's gonna beat these people up.
Ms. Nix, did you have any information about criminal history for Ms. Joyner?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Simpson, do you have anything?
She's not assisting, so I'm gonna assume she has no felony convictions.
Okay. The only arrest showing up in Odyssey is this case. Ms. Rios?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Joyner, 36 years old. She has 3 children, ages 14, 15, and 18. She, for a period of time, was homeless, living out of her car in homeless shelters with her 3 children. She just recently got a job working in a kitchen. She provided me with proof of her food stubs, and she just got.
When you say working in a kitchen, I got a restaurant?
Kitchen,
A school kitchen. Okay.
Yes, and then and she just got a place to stay. So she finally has a home after being homeless for what, a year struggling,
Dealing with this.
homeless, no job. And so now she's finally
Keep going.
And now she's finally situated. All of this is over a man. She was dating him. She sent me several pictures of them together. He was dating her and the victim at the same time. Let me finish. So dating at the same time. And he had actually texted her to come over to get her stuff. They were fighting. He was like, "Come get, was your keys or
Yes.
something?"
When you say her, you're referring to Ms. Joyner.
Miss Joyner, I'm sorry.
So the man, what's his last name?
Sims.
Mr. Sims texted Ms. Joyner saying, "Come get your stuff."
Yes.
Okay.
And so she went to the location, not knowing or realizing it was her location. I did watch the body cam, and I did try to listen to where she says, "I knew I should have been here." I didn't hear that, and maybe I've missed it because it was a lot of body cam. The first thing I heard her say was, "She hit me first. She hit me first. I was attacked." So her side of the story is when she got there, and he was there on scene too. The man was there, Mr. Sims.
Mr. Sims.
And her side of the story was she got there, she knocked on the door trying to get her stuff. She comes out.
She meaning Ms. Webb.
Ms. Webb comes out, and they started fighting.
Okay.
And so she was hysteric and she maintained that on the body camera saying that she hit me first, she hit me first. They just were fighting. She did know she had the protective order, but she didn't know she was going to be at the location or know that was their location. I don't think she'd been there before. So what?
You get a chance, Ms. Joyner. Let Ms. Rios talk for a little bit and I'll turn to you.
So, and since this incident and since she's no longer dealing with Mr. Sims, she has not had any contact or purposely. I know they were at the same location at that one time, but she's maintained that she never had any contact with him. It sounds like from what Ms. Webb saying that they haven't spoken. That's the gist that I've gotten from it is they haven't had contact since the situation. So she understands the situation. This is why we were taking a plea, because it was still aggravated stalking. She wasn't supposed to be around. And maybe when she got there, she should have just ran. But she was saying that they started fighting and this has been bad blood between them for a while because of this man. The reason why it's not a full negotiated plea is because with work and her taking care of her children, even 6 days in custody would be difficult for her. This happened a while ago. Since then, she hasn't had anything in her history. She doesn't have a history. It all seems like this situation is a last, and she's 36-year-old, it doesn't have a history. Because of this man is what got her in trouble. Of course, she's taking responsibilities while she's taking a plea, but if it wasn't for this situation, she would not have any contact with the police. So I'm just asking for her not to do the 6 days, for a behavioral incentive date of 3 years, and arrest to be negotiated.
When you say the rest to be.
The rest is as negotiated.
Which I have as the absolutely no contact with Ms. Webb.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Joyner, where is Mr. Sims now? I don't mean physically, is he on Boulevard, but is he someone in your life right now?
No,
Okay.
not at the moment.
You say not at the moment, in the last,
I'm saying that because I have dated this man. We have history.
you and Mr. Sims have history?
Yes, meaning.
History as in a romantic history or history as in?
Meaning like a bonds, like with family members and even his daughter. I took care of his daughter for a whole year.
Okay.
And Miss Webb, she knows all of this.
Okay, but let's not talk about Ms. Webb. My question was, is Mr. Sims someone who's still in your life?
No, I cut all ties.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I don't want to get in trouble. And
At the end of the day,
I'm not a troublemaker. And
Okay.
this right here has really stressed me out. Like she said, I have kids. I don't have a criminal history. I don't get in trouble. I don't do things like that. I was just wrong place, wrong time. And this lady, as I stated with the police, she can't answer the door, me not knowing because I heard his voice the whole time. I never once knew she was there or,
So you had a protective order against you at this time?
And I didn't even know how I got the protective order. I never, like, she did all this. How did she get my address? Don't y'all see that she was the stalker? She was the one aggravating and trying to provoke someone.
So no, I don't see it that way. And if she got a protective order, that meant she got in front of a judge who decided that there was a reason for you to stay away from Ms. Webb. So my question was simply.
But it wasn't.
You know what?
Okay.
Let him ask the question.
I just wanted
to answer the question.
Okay.
I promise I'm gonna hear you out. Let me get the question out.
Okay, go ahead.
When you got a copy of the protective order, did it say, here's where you're supposed to stay away from? Or did it just say, stay away from Ms. Webb? Because sometimes it'll say, don't go near 123 Walnut Street.
It just says stay away from Miss Webb.
It didn't have any addresses
No,
on
it did not.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the protective order? See if you can find it.
Because I don't know her address. I never knew her address.
Okay.
For it to say to stay away from her.
Okay, so you knew you were supposed to stay away from her, but you didn't necessarily have an address in mind to stay away from. So on this date,
Right.
March 15th, when you went to an address because Mr. Sims said, come over here.
Right.
Was that an address you had ever been to before?
I've been to the address with him because his auntie had a color party, and that's how I know place to go. I never knew the actual physical address. I just knew the place to go. And yes, he did tell me, well, come get it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Because I'm at this point, I'm fed up. You over there with her, this back and forth. I don't have time for it. It's drama in my life. I don't do drama. So yes, I wanted to be an adult, knock on the door, get my things, and just leave. But Ms. Webb came to the door swinging on me, and that's how we got to fighting.
Okay.
I did not initiate, no, and I never kicked this lady, never.
What did Mr. Sims do while this was happening?
While all this was happening, when I knocked on the door, his response, and like I said, the whole time I was talking to him, I never heard her voice, never spoke to her. She never came to the door, except for when she came to the door and started swinging on me for us to get into an altercation. But he said, hold on. I held on. I knocked it in because he never came. They turned the music up. And at that point, my conscience, he had to be with somebody, I guess. I didn't know who he was with. I'm just trying to get my key and leave. So he said, hold on. He never came to the door. Next thing I know, she opened the door, and then that's how we got into the altercation.
Right. And what did Mr. Sims do while you and Ms. Webb were?
He ran. He stood there. He didn't do nothing.
Okay.
He didn't do nothing. Like, he didn't try to prevent her from attacking me. He didn't try to break no argument or a fight. He didn't do nothing.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
You know what, Ms. Webb? I don't want to have a back and forth about this, and you are not on trial. You haven't been charged with anything, so you don't need to defend yourself in any way. You've already shared with me the impact this has had on you. It's been a profound impact, and this really isn't the right forum to have a back and forth, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Judge, this is a DeKalb TPO, and I have that it has been requested, but I do not actually have it in my
Okay.
possession.
I don't have it either. I just was curious if that was something that law enforcement had given you as part of discovery. Ms. Joyner, what are the hours that you work at the, I'm gonna call it this
7 to 3:30.
cafeteria? 7 to 3:30. And when you're there, where are the kids?
They're at school.
Okay, the 18-year-old is still in school?
My 18-year-old, he works.
He works?
Yes.
Okay. But does he live with you?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Is there anything more you want to add?
No, I just want to, like, not have a felony on my record, because I never been through nothing like this. And just as much as this has, she say, damaged her, it has damaged me too. Being a mother and having to go through this. I didn't know, far as being with this dude, that my life was gonna change all because of another female. I didn't want to be fighting her or none of that. And I didn't, it's just been stressful. It's just been very stressful.
Okay.
I am asking for her to be treated as a first offender.
Okay. Ms. Joyner, did you talk with Ms. Rios about how first offender works?
Yes.
Understand that if I sentence you as a first offender, which you qualify for, if you successfully complete your sentence, then, well, first of all, it doesn't start out as a conviction, which helps with keeping your job and whatnot, getting other jobs. But two, if you successfully complete your sentence, then you can work to have it removed from your record.
Yes.
It's not a conviction, but you also can have it sealed.
Okay.
The downside of first offender is that if you are someone who is prone to get into situations like this, and you're going to get arrested sometime in the next few years, not only would you have new charges, but I promise you we would get back together and I would realize that you overstated your ability to stay out of trouble and leave Ms. Webb alone and not get into a situation like this again. Not only could you have your probation revoked, but you could be resentenced. And it could be resentenced in a way that is very different from today. And I don't share that with you to say I'm threatening you. I just need you to know there's a risk to first offender. People see it and say, that's fantastic. That's what I want. You are older and your situation is a little more stable than many of the defendants I work with. But sometimes someone will say, yeah, that's great. That's what I want. And it's not in their best interest because 6 months later, they're running and gunning again. That's not you, but that is some people, and it blows up on them. And first offender is actually a bad idea. You know much better than I do if you think that first offender works for you. Do you think it does?
Yes.
Okay. You seem to want to say something about first
I did
offender.
want to say something. I wanted to say, how can I protect myself? Yes, y'all saying that I can't get in trouble. But as I stated before, and as I told my attorney, she antagonized me, which basically she provoked me, like texting me and, you know, did everything that she's saying that I did to her, as far as the aggravating stalking, she did that. But I never, you know, went to the police because I feel like we're adults and I know why you doing all this. Ain't no need for all of that, you know. That's why I didn't go to the police.
Well, couple
So how
things.
can I protect myself so this won't happen again?
Couple
And
things.
I won't feel like I'm the one. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. First, again, Ms. Joyner was able to get a protective order, which means she got in front of a judge and was able to present enough evidence that that judge was concerned, not about Ms. Webb, but about you. And so I think it was a two-way situation. It wasn't, listening to each of you, it's the other person, it was all the other person. There must have been some text coming from you that made Ms. Joyner concerned. And she got the TPO. You didn't. You said,
Yeah, I did.
turned the other cheek, and that's your decision. But to answer your question going forward, because it will be a condition of your sentence that you have no contact with Ms. Webb, none at all. First, don't respond to anything ever that she sends you, because if you do, that's contact with her. Second, if Ms. Webb is sending you things, you get those to Ms. Rios, and Ms. Rios gets them to Ms. Nix, and we'll work through it. And I'm happy to let Ms. Webb know you need to stay out of Ms. Joyner's life. But I am not, by saying that, agreeing with you that Ms. Webb has ever contacted you. I don't know, and today isn't the day to get in the middle of that. It's the day to have you both move forward in different ways.
Okay.
But if you respond to something that you perceive is coming from Ms. Webb, and it really is from Ms. Webb, and you've responded, you've contacted her, and I bet you she's going to send it to the prosecutor. That's going to get us back together, and that's going to be the easier than getting arrested would be evidence that you were messing with Ms. Webb. That will cause your probation to go away. That will cause your kids to not be, no, just understand it. You need to not be around her, okay?
I understand that. But that's just my point. Just like how she stated that I text her and said, this is Barbara, I never text that lady that. So how can I prevent things like that? Because you could easily say, somebody texted me again and it was me and it wasn't me.
But it has to be proof. And so if it's anonymous, that's not proof that you did it. But folks are pretty sophisticated these days. The district attorney's office can figure out, hey, it came from this phone number. We'll do this, that, and then they realize, even though you're saying it's not you, it was you. Or it was Mr. Sims, who's just a troublemaker. And he may be a wonderful guy. It sounds like he wasn't necessarily shooting straight with the two of you. But you need to be on your guard and not lose it one day and say, I'm just going to text you back. That would be violating the most important condition of your probation, which is leave Ms. Webb alone, 110%.
I don't really know that lady to even be bothering her. Like she stated, it was just for.
Well, then it should be easy.
Dude.
Then it should
Yeah,
be
it
easy.
has been easy. I have not talked to her.
Well, there you go. Anything else you want to tell me?
No.
Okay. Well, Ms. Joyner, I find there's a factual basis for your plea. I understand it's under Alford, and if this went to a jury, the jury would have a lot to work through. But you're here saying, I want to resolve this, and I'll accept your plea. I also find that your plea is knowing and voluntary. Knowing means you've understood what we talked about, and voluntary means that despite all the things you shared with me, you've decided that you want to go forward with the plea. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Rios, can someone in my office sign the indictment for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nix?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Joyner, can we sign it for you?
Yes.
All right. So if I get the indictment back on the screen, you are pleading to count 1, which has been reduced to battery, a misdemeanor, and count 2, aggravated stalking. 3 and 4 are dismissed. And your sentence on count 1 is going to be 12 months probated. Count 2 is going to be 8 years probated. They're going to run concurrently with each other. Special condition of probation, and these conditions are, special condition of probation number 1 is that you're going to spend 3 weekends in jail. And those will start not this Friday, but next Friday. You need to be at the county jail. How does that work, Deputy Gordon? She'll report to the county jail and then get transferred to ACDC? Okay. You need to get to the county jail by 5 p.m. starting next Friday, 3 weekends in a row. You'll be released by 5 p.m. That Sunday. Now that I understand better your situation with your 18-year-old, the other 2 kids are going to be all right for those 3 weekends. The next special condition of your probation, let me finish, is that you have no contact with Ms. Webb. Don't reach out, nothing. If she's reaching out to you, get that to Ms. Rios so that Ms. Rios can get it to Ms. Nix, and we'll take it from there. And I will, Ms. Joyner, set a behavioral incentive date of April 16th of 2029. That's 3 years from today. If you have, and I have no doubt that you'll be able to do this, for those 3 years of probation, stayed out of harm's way, not gotten in any trouble, and no one is hearing anything from Ms. Webb that can be validated, then your probation can end early. I'll also waive your probation supervision fees for the first 6 months as you continue to get settled with your new job and your new residence. And finally, this is a first offender disposition. I think that reaching age 36 with no trouble certainly entitles you to that. And I believe that you are going to head in a direction away from Ms. Webb, and that this isn't going to be something complicated for you to take care of.
Can I say one more thing?
You sure can.
About the weekends going to jail. My son he's leaving on the 21st to go.
Where is he going?
He's going to Weldon. He's going to Weldon School in Kentucky.
Oh, good for him.
Yes.
Okay.
So he won't be able to watch over my kids.
He leaves on April 21st?
Yes.
Next week. How long is he going to be in Kentucky?
He's going to be stationed there for 2 years.
Is it like a military thing?
No,
Okay. All right.
it's a trade that he's taking.
Okay. Then let's do this. What if we had you do this weekend, and then I will backload 2 weekends, and if after 6 months there have been no issues, I'll make those 2 weekends go away.
Okay.
All right. So you need to, this Friday by 5, get to the county jail. You'll be released Sunday by 5. And if at the 6-month mark, probation says, hey, Ms. Joyner's done everything she needs to do, I'm not hearing anything from Ms. Nix about you in any way contacting or being involved with Ms. Webb, then I'll hold those remaining 4 days that would get you to the full month. That's the math that was involved in abeyance. Okay?
Okay.
Do you want to talk to Ms. Rios about the sentence, or do you want to go forward?
Yeah, I guess I'm just a little stressed right now.
Okay. Well, you want to take 5 and talk with Ms. Rios, or
You talk.
Yeah.
okay, why don't you guys talk?